Buying the wrong Raleigh neighborhood is a little like watching Stranger Things. Everything just looks normal at first until you realize you wandered into the upside down. Some of the Triangle's biggest new communities haven't even opened yet, and one of them could completely change where people want to move over the next 5 years. My family and I moved here from Southern California 8 years ago, sight unseen. So we've made and helped hundreds of families avoid the mistakes you're trying not to make. And trust me, the last neighborhood on this list surprised even me. The first one, Cattail, is quietly becoming one of the more interesting new communities in the Triangle, especially if you're dreaming about having a little more breathing room without giving up access to Raleigh altogether. It's planned around a beautiful lake setting where the goal isn't simply building another subdivision. The vision here is creating a community and a lifestyle where the outdoors becomes part of your daily routine. Picture waking up on a Saturday morning, grabbing a cup of coffee, taking the kayak down the water, walking the dog around the trails, then meeting friends later that evening for dinner. That's the type of lifestyle they're trying to create here. And honestly, I think that's something more buyers are looking for today more than ever. People tell me all the time that they want a bigger house, but once they move there, what they really end up loving is having somewhere they actually want to spend their free time. That is a huge difference. Homes are expected to range from the upper 500,000s to over $1 million and higher, especially on the lake, depending on size and location, of course. Many of my clients who want newer construction without immediately jumping into high luxury pricing definitely like Cattail. Now let's be honest about the downside, because no neighborhood is perfect. If your office is in the RTP or you're driving into downtown Raleigh every single morning, you're probably looking at commute anywhere from around 30 to 45 minutes, depending on traffic. That is definitely the trade-off. You gain larger homes, more outdoor space, and a quieter setting, but you spend a little bit more time behind the windshield. So only you can decide whether that's worth it or not. Personally, I've had clients tell me they'll gladly take an extra 15 minutes in the car if that means they can sit on their back porch overlooking trees or the lake instead of staring directly into their neighborhood's kitchen window. If Cattail is all about slowing life down around the lake, the next community goes almost in the opposite direction. Welcome to Ponder, and it's being designed to bring people together. That's actually becoming a trend in some of the newest master plan communities around the Triangle. It's kind of like their sister in Wendell Falls. Builders aren't just constructing homes anymore. They're creating places where restaurants, coffee shops, parks, walking trails, fitness centers, gathering spaces, and neighborhoods eventually become part of your everyday life. Now here's something a lot of people moving here don't really realize. Once enough rooftops actually get built, grocery stores follow, restaurants follow, medical offices follow, retails follow, which is exactly the same thing in Wendell Falls and Briar Chapel, just to name a couple examples. And it's almost like watching an entirely new town appear right in front of you, which I've seen a couple of times in the last 8 or 9 years. That's what makes buying early into one of these communities so interesting. You're not simply purchasing today's neighborhood, you're buying into what the neighborhood is likely to become over the next 5 to 10 years. Ponder plans to include parks, trails, gathering spaces, and community amenities designed to encourage people to actually meet one another. Now, if your perfect weekend involves closing the blinds, ordering DoorDash, pretending the Ring doorbell isn't working, going on a Netflix binge, and avoiding every neighborhood event, this might be a stretch for your comfort zone. But if you enjoy getting outside, meeting people, walking to events, or watching your kids grow up with neighborhood friends, I think you'll appreciate what they're trying to build here. And one thing I've noticed over the year is that buyers relocating from places like where we're from, California, or New York, New Jersey, and Florida are often surprised by how connected many Triangle communities actually feel. It's actually common here to see neighbors talking in the driveway, kids riding bikes together, food truck nights, concerts in the park, and community festivals throughout the year. That sense of community is one of the reasons so many people end up loving life here. Now let's move from community living to something completely different. What if you wanted total privacy instead? What if your dream wasn't a neighborhood pool, but 5 wooded acres? That's exactly where we're headed next. This next one is on a completely different level. Now, if you thought those first communities were interesting, Rever is for the buyers who want space, privacy, and a little bit of luxury without feeling like they're living in the middle of nowhere. Now, this is definitely not your typical neighborhood where every backyard looks exactly the same. Here you're talking about estate-style homes with multi-acre wooded home sites where you can actually enjoy some peace and quiet. And honestly, driving through a place like this just reminds me of some of those estate neighborhoods that I used to have a bunch of friends live in back in Southern California, like the Preserve in Chino Hills or Carbon Canyon, except you're surrounded by towering hardwoods instead of bumper-to-bumper traffic and million-dollar congestion. The homes in Rever are expected to start around the $4 to $5 million mark and climb from there. So this is definitely isn't for everyone, but if you've been looking for something that feels custom instead of cookie cutter, Rever deserves your attention. And what I like most is that you're buying privacy that simply can't be recreated later. Builders can always build another clubhouse, they can always build another pool. What they can't build is mature hardwood forests and acreage. Once it's disappeared, that's it. And that's becoming a lot harder to find around the Triangle. The trade-off, of course, is the price. Luxury living comes with a luxury budget. But for buyers wanting room for a detached garage, a pool, outdoor entertainment, or simply not hearing the neighbor's lawnmower every Saturday morning, I think this definitely fills the niche that's been missing. Now let's completely switch gears. If Rever is all about privacy, Veridea is about creating an entire city from the ground up. When I first saw the master plan, I honestly thought I was looking at plans for a brand new town instead of a neighborhood. This is one of the largest mixed-use developments anywhere in the Triangle, and yes, it's like a city within Apex. We're talking thousands of homes, apartments, restaurants, shopping, offices, parks, schools, trails, entertainment, and employment opportunities all planned together instead of being added piece by piece over the next 20 years. You know that line from Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come? Well, that's basically what's happening here. Homes come first, then restaurants, then grocery stores, then coffee shops, medical offices, and employers. But yes, there's definitely plenty of those very close by. But before you know it, what used to be open land has become an entire community where people can live, work, shop, and spend most of their time without driving across the Triangle every day. And that kind of planning is becoming more popular because people don't want to spend 45 minutes commuting if they don't have to. What's exciting is watching these communities evolve. And if you've never bought into a master plan development before, it's actually kind of fun watching a new phase open. One year, there's nothing but dirt. Then, the first restaurant opens. A year later, there's a grocery store, the parks, the schools. It's crazy. It almost feels like you're watching your hometown grow up right alongside of you. And of course, buying early isn't for everybody. You'll probably deal with construction for a while. There'll be the orange barrels, dump trucks, and plenty of heavy equipment. You'll have the challenges with your GPS, which may occasionally tell you to turn onto a road that hasn't been finished yet. And that's part of buying into the future. But many buyers are perfectly willing to accept that because they know they're getting in before everything is completely different. Now, if you thought building an entire new community sounded ambitious, wait until you hear who's behind this next one. When I first heard Disney was bringing a community to North Carolina, I honestly thought somebody was joking. Turns out, they weren't. And I heard about this place called Cattail in Palm Springs, close to where I used to live, and went, nice. Asteria is Disney's first story living community, of course, on the East Coast, and it's planned for Pittsboro, just southwest of Chapel Hill, which I already love the way it is, just the way it is right now. And this isn't a theme park. You're not going to see Mickey Mouse mowing the yard, but you would definitely see characters walking around in certain areas. What Disney is bringing is something very different. They're partnering to create a thoughtful, designed, master plan community centered around recreation, outdoor spaces, walking trails, gathering areas, events, and the type of storytelling and attention to detail Disney has become famous for. And whether you decide to live there or not, I think it's going to bring a tremendous amount of attention into Chatham County over the next several years. And that's important because Chatham County is already experiencing incredible growth with projects like Wolfspeed, life science expansions, and continued development spreading southwest from the Triangle. This entire area is changing much faster than many people realize. That's why I always tell buyers not to focus only on where the Triangle is today. You definitely need to look at where it's going to be heading 3, 5, 10 years from now. Sometimes the best opportunities are in places people aren't even paying attention to yet. Now here's the biggest takeaway. Do not choose a neighborhood because somebody on the internet ranked it number 1. Choose the one that fits your lifestyle. Some people want walkability, some people want golf, some people want lakes, some people want privacy. Others want to be close to the RTP, and some just want newer homes, but others want character. There isn't one perfect neighborhood. There's only the neighborhood that's perfect for you. That's exactly why my team spends so much time getting to know our clients before we ever show a single house. We want to understand how you actually live because once we know that, narrowing down the communities becomes so much easier. And remember, my family and I made this move ourselves 8 years ago from Southern California, sight unseen. And we never saw a house or a neighborhood in person. Looking back, there are definitely things we wish we had known making that leap. That's why we make these videos and that's why we're in real estate. If we can help you avoid even one expensive mistake, then all these videos we do are definitely worth making. And if you're thinking about moving anywhere in the Triangle and you'd like some help figuring out which community really fits your lifestyle, call, text, or email us anytime. Our information is right here on the screen. We genuinely love the opportunity to help you. You can also grab our free buyer and seller relocation guide down in the description box. It's packed with information we wish someone had handed us before we made our move. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because every single week we're making new videos about the Raleigh-Durham Triangle with commute times, schools, restaurants, hidden gems, and everything happening across the Triangle. We do it so you can make the most informed decision possible. And if you're still in research mode, no pressure. Check out our library of videos and our sister channel, Life in Raleigh NC. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these new awesome neighborhoods would you actually consider living in? Are you looking for lake living, a master plan community packed with amenities, luxury, estate homes? Or do you think Disney's Asteria is going to completely change Chatham County? Let me know down in the comment section because I read every one of them and I always enjoy hearing what people value the most. And fun fact, I will make some videos just because of certain comments. Thanks so much for hanging out and I'll see you in the next video.